Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Victorian Cowboy here, bringing you once more back to the discussion table for Game of Thrones Episode 8, titled No One. And if you haven't figured it out by now, use this opportunity to turn off the video if you do not want to be spoiled for the episode. I mean, we're discussing it after it's aired, so one would assume that there would be spoilers. Anyway, let's jump right in, shall we? So, I would like to chalk one up in my column for calling shots, because I called that Arya was going to go back to the players, and more specifically to Lady Crane, to get help after nearly being eviscerated by the waif. Unfortunately, that spells disaster for Lady Crane, who, in helping Arya, gets killed by the waif. Then Arya runs, and then Arya kills the waif. And what I really liked was the throwback to, once Arya got her sword and stood up, to her days where she was with the water dance teacher from Bravos, and how she ended up using the sword. She took out the light, and I wasn't actually upset that we didn't get to see that fight, because it wouldn't have been that interesting in the dark, especially once Arya turns the light out. Granted, Arya has the advantage in that fight because she has the longer weapon, so knife versus a sword in the dark, I take the sword because you just have to be close to your victim then. And then of course she goes and confronts his Jaqen with the waif's head, so that's a nice little touch. And Arya's back, she's heading to Westeros, and hopefully the Faceless Men leave her alone now, seeing as she's actually killed one of their representatives. But that storyline, she's going to come back, and we'll have to see what she does in Westeros. Though she did raise an interesting point about what's west of Westeros, and that makes me want to know what's west of Westeros, because no one's ever been there. So that just left me curious. But no, she's going to go back and avenge her family, and hopefully Jon and Sansa and Rickon will all be alive and well at the time. Also, we get to see the Hound. The Hound comes across the four deserters from the the Brotherhood Without Banners, and let's just say you don't want to make the Hound mad with whatever weapon he has. Not only does he behead someone, cut someone's throat, and take someone's chest out, but he disemboweled someone from below, which was entertaining and justified, seeing as I really liked the septum that the Hound was helping build his sept, but at the same time it's like that was a bit much even for the Hound. And then of course later on he meets up with Beric and the real Brotherhood Without Banners, or Brothers Without Banners, who have caught the other deserters, of which the Hound barters to kill 2 of them. And I just felt that the scenes with the Hound today had a certain energy about them that really helped make the episode interesting. Because some of the other scenes drug on a little bit, or didn't quite have as much momentum or energy going for them. But seeing the Hound come back and be the badass that he is, and hearing that the Brotherhood Without Banners is going up towards the wall because they know there's trouble coming from the north, it leads me to believe that there are more people starting to realize, well, shit. Although that may just be the influence of the Lord of Light, which so far is the only Lord we've actually seen do much, though the old gods may be who instill Bran and the Three-Eyed Raven with their powers. So I say that kind of warily because we don't know specifically what all these gods can do. Anyway, the Hound just has a ball killing people, and then there is still hope for Clegane Bowl, which is the Hound versus the Mountain, and the Mountain gets to have some more action today. We got to see the Mountain in action earlier when he smashes the head of the one peasant, but today when the Faith Militant come for Cersei, he rips a guy's head off, just literally, just one hand on the head, one hand on the chest, rips the guy's head off, which is just a feat to his raw power, which is going to be really hard to take down. Plus, we also see him take a shot full on in the chest. Now, whether or not his chest protector is just that far off his body, or he is literally a zombie that does not feel pain anymore. Is left to be determined. But that was pretty intense. Though Cersei's in a bit of a pickle. She's alone. She's just got her maester, and she's got Sir Robert Strong of the Mountain. So that's going to leave her in a pickle because her son Tommen, the king, has outlawed trial by combat. So she'll have to stand trial in front of 7 septums. Though the rumors that she sent the maesters little birds to figure out, one possible theory that when I was discussing this with my brother, he brought up is, well, the rumor is probably, is the city built upon a lake of dragon fire, or are the tunnels lined with dragon fire? In which case, if she loses her case, she's going to burn King's Landing to the ground, which is going to be an interesting event if it happens. I think that would add a certain level of flair, if you will, to her escape, or her Holocaust offering if she stays there, because she'd be sacrificing her son too. Though I already feel like she's growing farther away from Tommen, and is definitely feeling slighted now. Then we did get to see Brienne at Riverrun. My favorite thing about the whole Riverrun bit of today's episode, or well, of Sunday's episode, today's Monday, but the best bit was actually for me Bronn and Podrick kind of sparring off. But I'll be honest, I've always liked Bronn as a character, just his like gallows humor and his kind of happy-go-lucky, let's enjoy today kind of attitude. Plus the fact that he's willing to do what it takes to win a fight just makes me enjoy him. He's a very likable character in my opinion. So seeing their interactions and just hearing them talk about their masters, if you will, was quite fun. Now Brienne, there's some foreshadowing going on here between Brienne and Jaime, and I'm not sure if it'll ever come up, but it does feel like Brienne and Jaime are going to have to face off at some point in battle, at which point Brienne will like defeat Jaime, because Jaime's only got one hand and is piss poor left-handed swordsman. But there's a lot of foreshadowing just with how much they drive home the point they care for each other and they have respect for each other, and then the whole bit about the sword, Oathkeeper, that really is setting up for some bigger climax in their particular relationship. And of course the Blackfish is just stubborn and supposedly dies in the episode. We don't see him die though, so I'm not sure whether a Lannister lackey would be the best person to get the news from. Like, I don't believe they're necessarily reliable with that news, just like I wouldn't believe Ramsay Bolton with any news, because he's not a reliable narrator and would rather manipulate you. Plus, the Blackfish is a big character, but one could assume, based on his conversation with Brienne, that he would go out swinging in epic yet really tragic fashion, because he is out of practice. And if so, that's an unfortunate way for the character to go, but I guess it works. I would have much rather seen that fight, though, because that would have been something, rather than just having him be told, oh yeah, by the way, this legend in the series is dead. We introduced him last episode, and yeah, you know, he's gone now. And Edmure has the castle back, but is doing what he's doing because he has a family, even though he doesn't know the family. So he's moving more on honor of his new family and trying not to, you know, be locked away in the phrase keep again, which, not that I blame him, dungeon living is no living at all, but it is just unfortunate that he betrays the Blackfish in, like, not even a betray way, but it's just one of those things that really just doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth. So we'll have to see what he does. I don't know if he's going to come to Sansa's aid, even though Sansa is his niece. So we'll have to see. We don't actually see Sansa or Jon or that half of the family in today's episode, but the theory is, because the next episode is the Battle of the Bastards between Jon and Ramsay, there's a lot of speculation as one of them is going to die in it, which I think would be epic if they got into a sword duel on the field of battle and one of them fell, but I don't know if they're going to kill either off that way, or if either are even going to die in the episode. Because there's also the theory that people want to milk it a little longer, and I still think, though, that they can kill Jon off after bringing him back at the beginning of the season, especially if they're just going to bring him back again. It just feels... it feels useless. It feels like they just use that for filler then if they kill Jon off. They could injure Jon. That wouldn't be a problem. But if they kill him off, only to bring him back or to leave him dead, that's just a bit anticlimactic and really unfortunate writing, because it would feel like he didn't accomplish much, especially if he doesn't take back Winterfell. So my guess is they take Winterfell back. And again, in discussing it with my brother, he brought up a very good point, that he feels that in the final battle there's going to be a Gandalf-like moment where the Knights of the Vale finally ride in and do their business against Ramsay Bolton's men, because Sansa's letter, which some lovely people on the internet have tried to decipher, seems to have been to Peter Baelish asking for help, and cashing in the, well, you kind of screwed me over here, so you owe me. You owe me, you owe my parents, you owe, pretty much everyone in my family at this point. Which, it'll be cool to see the Knights of the Vale, because they get talked about a lot, but they haven't really done much. Though, the Vale is in mountains, so how much fighting do they do, or how much dropping of rocks onto people's heads do they do? I mean, but still, the rumors in this series is they're some of the best knights around, like the best fighters in the field. So that will be something to keep in mind, and something fun to watch. Plus, I'm just really wanting to see the Bear Island soldiers, the Marmots, the 62 of them, really do some work, because they're also getting hype, although just this season. But I just really like the idea of 62 warriors that can just get shit done. I mean, that's just a fun idea. But we'll have to see how that goes. That's next episode. Should be a good episode. Episode 9 tends to be the one that packs a punch. Either there's something shocking or the battle. And so I'm going to be interested to see how the battle plays out and how much intrigue they're going to add to it with deception and whatnot. Especially if Peter Baelish is involved. There has to be some other thing other than him just sending soldiers, because he's a little bit more of a dabbler. Other things we get, let's see, the last one we have is the Siege of Meereen. So first off, Varys leaves to go back to Westeros to try and get support for Dany before she gets there, which, while tactically a wise decision, Varys is actually a really good advisor and can get information from anyone, so it's sad to see him leave there, because that whole realm is now going to be a little bit more in the dark as far as information is concerned. Though the Masters are coming back and starting a war, which leaves everybody just upset with Tyrion, because Tyrion's the one who kind of set that up inadvertently. Though one of the more fun scenes in this episode was where they're all joking, like Tyrion is trying to get Grey Worm and, oh good lord, I just spaced on the lady's name, but to tell jokes. And I think my favorite bit is the fact that they've got the Lannister, the Tyrell, and the Stark walk into a pub and order some ale, which is exactly like another joke we have in this world. a Frenchman, a German, and an Irishman walk into a bar, and all of them order a whiskey. And there's a fly in each of their drinks. And the Frenchman throws the drink back in the bartender's face and goes, "Mon Dieu, I can't drink this," and storms off. The German just flicks the fly out, downs the drink. The Irishman picks the fly up by the wings and yells, "Spit it out! Spit it out!" Which is, it's a joke I love, and so I nearly lost it watching that, because hearing their version of it actually made a lot of sense in the light of what the realms are supposed to represent. But the one thing I will say, though, towards the end, we have Dany come back during the Siege of Meereen, and her entrance is really quick and really anticlimactic almost. It's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm here," and then boom, we're gone from that. So I feel like that was a bit of a letdown, with Dany returning in such an abrupt and like very little fanfare. But we'll have to see how that goes. That is what it is. We'll just have to watch and see what she does. She's going to be upset, but the note is, if she doesn't destroy the ships that the Masters have come on, she's now got a small fleet, so she may not need the Ironborn. But she will need more ships, because the Masters don't have 1,000. At least not 1,000 cargo ships that could carry everybody. So, all things considered, I thought this episode had some really good parts and some really bad parts. I'm sad to see the actress die, Lady Crane, but I can understand why they did that. Being a theater teacher, I really liked the acting trope and that whole sense, but well, they're gone now, so Arya's going to have to find a way home again. But all things considered, I enjoyed it for the most bit. I just wish we could have seen a little more happen on screen rather than off screen. But I think we've got good setup now for Battle of the Bastards, episode 9, which I'm really looking forward to. So again, tell me what you thought down in the comments. Give us a like if you've enjoyed this, or if you think something went wrong or you didn't enjoy this, give us a dislike. But just give us some feedback so we know what to do next time. And add to the discussion. Tell me some of your theories, some of your thoughts. I'd love to talk about it. Oh, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one.